Alright, what is going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode on the Masai Gains channel. Welcome to all the brand new subscribers. Welcome to MGC. If you have not watched before, you can expect the best of automotive content right here on the Masai Gains channel. I have myself some pre-owned some vehicles that I share on this channel. I share reviews, I share road trips, and I share other stuff as well, guys. So welcome to a brand new episode of MGC on a good old sunny day in Nairobi. I am, of course, in my FZJ80 series, my Land Cruiser 80 series, 1996, still driving along on the roads today in 2025. And in today's video, I want to take you through three things you must consider if you're buying an older vehicle. If you're buying an older Land Cruiser, if you're buying a vehicle older than 30 years old or 25 years old, these are three things you should consider. Alright, so you know these older vehicles, they've got a special place in our hearts. Sorry to interrupt the video, guys, but as you can see today, I am in the ultimate Overland outdoor shop. This is a shop that I've personally curated for you guys to ensure that you have all the gear you need to go as far off the tarmac as you want. This is the ultimate outdoor Overland shop right here in Nairobi, right here at Sarit Center, Nairobi's busiest mall. As you can see behind me, Overland is freedom. The further we can go off the beaten track, the better for us, the more peace in our minds. So all of you watching, the ones who have subscribed, I really appreciate it. If you make your way down here to Sarit Center, support us and the great gear we have here, from overlanding equipment, camping, tables, chairs, to all kinds of multi-tools, cooking sets, and everything that you need to go far off the beaten track. I look forward to seeing you guys here at the shop, where you'll meet John and Paul, and they'll give you a great experience here at the shop so you can get all the stuff you need, including car care, so we can keep everything maintained and looking fantastic. It's just nothing like getting into a 90s vehicle, and that's why in 2025 I'm driving around in a 30-year-old Land Cruiser. You know, you might say, Masai Gains, why the heck don't you just get a 200 series or something? Alright, if cost wasn't a factor, I would actually get a 200 series, but right now, can't afford a 2016 200 series, which I believe is the shape I like and the kind of vehicle that I really resonate with. So, you know, Land Cruisers have become more expensive, more and more expensive, and so it's just become, you know, really difficult to get the one that you seek. You know, I actually see that you have to wait, or at least I have to wait, it's about 12 or 13 years or even 15 years these days before it depreciates to the point where I feel is a fair value. But I still love these vehicles because even when I get into a 200 series, I immediately can tell the difference, and I actually prefer the drive of my 80 series. I'm not saying the 80 drives better. The 200 is more comfortable. It's got KDSS, disconnecting sway bars. It is more comfortable, guys. Independent front suspension. But there's just something about the way this vehicle drives and the way Toyota tuned this suspension together with two solid axles that just gives it a very solid feel on the road. And the weirdest thing is that when I'm in my 80 and a 300 passes me or a 200 passes me, I actually feel bigger, even though the 80 is smaller than those vehicles. Whereas in my 100 series, when a 200 series or a 300 passes me, I feel a bit small. So I don't know what that's about. It's maybe the way these older vehicles make you feel, you know, very blocky, squarish interior inside here, sitting on like a bucket seat. But three things you must consider. It's an old vehicle. So number one, I'd have to say, is you're going to spend a bit more time looking over your vehicle. You're going to spend a bit more time in the mornings, maybe looking under your vehicle if there are any leaks, testing out your vehicle, listening out for noises, new noises. You know, I'm not saying don't buy a 30-year-old vehicle and then install like a crazy sound system with a subwoofer, blast music, and just to the point where you can't hear anything whatsoever. No, that's not what we want to do. You're buying an older vehicle, pay attention, keep a listening ear, because cars always talk to us before catastrophic failures, you know. Seals, sounds, engine changes and sound, all these things hint at work that we have to kind of be attentive to. So number one, of course, pay slightly more attention to your vehicle. You know, it's an older vehicle and you're gonna have to go through those kind of things. So just pay attention, look under it, watch out for leaks, pay attention to the sound of the engine, and in most cases you'll be absolutely fine. If you listen to a different engine sound, or you hear something, or you hear a belt hissing, always that's an indication of a leak, something leaking onto the belt. If you hear a noise as soon as you turn on the car, like a whining noise, most times it does point towards power steering pump or low power steering. So, pay attention to these things. Now, number two, you're getting into a 30-year-old vehicle, you're getting into one of these older vehicles. They weren't just produced yesterday, they were produced a long time ago. So go through your servicing, go through your maintenance, guys. Try and get through more regular oil services. Heck, even put an engine flush in your car, a quality engine flush, like a liquid moly. Get your car nicely flushed out so it can be performing like new. Put the correct oil in your vehicle. 30-year-old vehicle, usually these were produced in a time, guys, where oils weren't like they were today, and so they were using just standard multi-grade oils. The synthetics weren't out yet. So, in some of the older vehicles, sometimes you do go for like a 20W50 conventional oil instead of a fully synthetic. But if you can get your hands on a quality fully synthetic, that also does a good job. So just pay attention to more of your servicing, and you will be, just much better off with these older vehicles. So number two is servicing and maintenance, and that encapsulates regular oil services, bit more regular than you would do with a new car. This is an older car. You don't know so much about previous owners, maintenance sometimes. So you want to get that engine flushed out a bit more often in the start. Every 5,000 kilometers, every 6,000 kilometers, just get it flushed out so that you're in a good place. Now, forgive the bumpy road. We are in the 80s, so it doesn't matter, but it is a bumpy road. So, we flush out the oil more, that engine will start to kind of remove the sludge and perform much better if you're using a good quality oil. So on top of that, other maintenance you want to look at. Now remember, these vehicles, most of the time, they're older, and they're also on like 200,000 miles, 300,000 miles. Maybe you got more miles than that. So in those considerations, you want to also look into flushing the ATF, the automatic transmission fluid. You want to do flushes on all your fluids, guys. Fluids are automatic transmission fluid, coolant, power steering, brake fluid, and if you have suspension hydraulic fluid, you can even flush that out. So all fluid flushes is what I highly recommend when getting into these older vehicles, so that you can be in a much better position. And of course, using genuine parts, guys. I've realized that using genuine parts is always going to help you a lot in the long run, versus using cheap parts. Even using quality oils, even if you have to pay more for a quality oil, it is way worth it in the long term versus using a cheaper oil, And I always say that oil is cheaper than engines, guys. I always say this, and so it's just basic advice. So that's number two, keeping up with your maintenance. And number three is dampening your expectations. Do not go into a 30-year-old, some people, they go into a 30-year-old vehicle, like maybe they've heard, okay, Land Cruisers are really reliable, or Mercedes of the 90s are very reliable. So they go into these vehicles, buying them, thinking that, okay, these are the best things ever made. I don't have to touch it. I don't have to do any maintenance, nothing. Just gotta buy it and I'm ready to go. That's obviously not the case, guys. As good and as perfect as a machine can be made, it needs maintenance, it needs servicing, it needs tender loving care. So don't go into these vehicles thinking because they're a bit cheaper, or they're older, so they're a bit cheaper, so you can buy them, but you'll just skimp out on maintenance. No, you won't. And in fact, it'll be the worst experience you could ever have. So dampen your expectations, and also know what you're getting into. So don't get into these vehicles thinking it should not have a single squeak, it should not have a single rattle, it should look like new, the interior should be perfect, pristine. Look, I'm someone who likes to go for clean vehicles, guys, but I also know how to measure my expectations based on what you're getting into, and to find the cleanest piece that you can based on those dampened expectations of knowing that it's a 30-year-old vehicle. And in most cases, you'll find something that'll treat you very well. And in most cases, as we know, if you treat your vehicle well, your vehicle will treat you well. And that's always the case, and that's sound advice. So dampen your expectations so that, you know, if this window makes a bit of noise or the window regulator suddenly fails, at least you expect it, you know, and you change it. No, you should be a bit mechanically inclined to know that these kind of things can be swapped out, these kind of things can be changed. Window regulators, sensors, switches, interior pieces that break, you know, all this stuff can be worked on. So I'm obviously on a typical kind of construction kind of road. It's so rough, but when I'm in my 80, this is what I enjoy, guys. It's bouncy, but it's kind of cushioned. The Ironman suspension is doing a good job of dampening it out. I'm not flying too much in my seat, but the road is, you know, just all over the place. And yeah, so dampen your expectations so that you're really happy with what you purchase, you know, so that you don't purchase something and then you have all that buyer's remorse of, oh shit, you know, I'm not ready for this is too old, you know, I just want to get into something newer. No. So, you know, just three simple tips for you guys getting into these older vehicles, purchasing these older vehicles. And I highly recommend you go for it, because this has been the best decision I ever made in my life. I absolutely love my 80 series. I am daily driving it now, and it's the right fit for me and the right fit for my character. So, you know, if you find a vehicle that fits your character, if it really, you know, tickles your fancy, go for it. You know, we're men, or even if you women out there, go for it. We are attached to such objects, and a vehicle is something that is, you know, shows your character kind of thing. A vehicle is a big thing, and mainly one of the two big purchases of most people's lives, right? It's a vehicle, it's a house. So, you know, that's been it. Quick video, so much content coming up on the channel, guys, and stay tuned for the upcoming episodes on the Mercedes-Benz W124 Resto that I'm doing. And I hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. If you did, make sure you hit like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think. And it's been Masai Gaines checking out.